Boom, what's happening?
Man, just another day. Got to take care of some chores. You know how that goes.
All right, Boone, how long you been out?
Since the 17th of June.
17th of June. Now, this is my off day. This is your work day. I work pretty hard. I'm going to lean back because I didn't realize the sunlight is going to block this camera. So when I lean back, I'm not being cool. I'm just leaning back so I can see you, you can see me.
You're fine,
So,
Sean.
okay, Boone, tell us how it felt, baby. I'm talking about from when you sign the papers, when you sign the papers, tell me the feelings and walk me up till now.
Man, when I signed those papers, I had a feeling that life was going to change. I knew it for a fact. I just didn't know exactly exactly how or when it would happen, but I knew that something was different. Um, I've been waiting on that day for a while, and it's been a process. It's been a process for me to, I guess, get my mind and my heart really set on changing my life. And when I signed those papers, man, I knew for a fact that I wouldn't come back because my heart was in the right spot. It's like when I touched down that first day, everything was different. I'm
Take
pretty
me
sure
through it. Tell me what was different. We're trying to help some people.
this time I had a this time I had the word. So it
Okay.
was like
Okay.
I had
Let me break it down. Let me go and get serious with Big Boom. What I'm saying is when you sign that paper to get out, walk me through the physical process. And while you were going through the physical process, walk me through the spiritual process.
uh was signing those papers and knowing that I was going to be free on a certain date in a certain time. I just felt like this time God had my back. I
Okay.
knew that I knew that when I got out, I didn't have hardly any family support. All I had was my sister and my son and a caseworker.
Okay.
I knew that everything was going to be all right. As little as I had getting out, it was almost nothing. Just the clothes on my back that I had got from Huntsville, and then $50. I knew that that was more than I needed because I was sure this time that God would put the people in my life that I needed. First seek the kingdom of heaven, and everything else would be added unto you. Was going through my mind, so I wasn't worried about what I didn't have. Like before, I didn't have it. Before I would be worried about not having a job, not having a steady source of income, not having a place to go. Because when you discharge, you're not given a roof. They don't make sure that you have housing. They don't make sure that you have anything. Once you discharge, man, they wash their hands of you.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that I had to stick close to God. I had to find a church so I could keep that spiritual momentum going. And since that day, things have things have been things have been coming together for me. I've met those people. Those material things have been just like I said, materializing in my life somehow, some way. I've got everything I need now. I've got clothes on my back. I've got multiple pair of shoes on my feet now. I don't lack for anything. There hasn't been one day where I've gone hungry. And as small as my family circle is right now, I've been less alone than I ever have. The relationships that I do have with my son and with my sister are way better, 1,000 times better than they were when I left.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm grateful because I know that in those few things, if I can make such progress, I know that in everything else, it's just a matter of time. And it may not necessarily be my time; it's God's time now, and I'm starting to understand that. Uh, I never really understood what God's time meant, or how to be patient enough to wait,
Mm-hmm.
to wait and see how those prayers get answered, man. Uh, but I'm starting to kind of, I'm starting to. I really am.
Okay.
Have been placing themselves in front of me without me even looking for them, and it's it's crazy, and I'm grateful, man. I don't take anything for granted now. I don't. I have a better respect for other followers to kind of be able to understand them and where they're coming from, and not that superficial kind of judgmental understanding, but really understanding, people and their situations.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I never really had that. Not like I'm coming to understand now.
Okay.
I,
Nah, I'm with you, bro. I'm following you. I'm trying to get out this sun. It seems like
yeah,
every time I move, the sun moves, and I want to see you, man, because you're talking about some serious stuff.
I've
So did
never had.
somebody come pick you up, or did you catch the bus?
When I got out of Huntsville, we caught the little shuttle to the bus stop, and they got us out of there in a hurry. I didn't have anybody to come pick me up, but I didn't need it. I had that bus ticket, and I didn't care where that. Really, at the time, I didn't care where that ticket went, as long as it was away. As
Okay,
long as
okay. So let's do this. When you sign the papers to walk out, because it's fresh, you just got out in June.
yeah,
Walk us through. You sign the papers. What
right.
happened? What happened for you to get on the bus?
Signed the papers. We went to the little store right there, around the corner. I think it's the same store they've been using for
You got
50
out in
years.
Huntsville?
Yeah,
Okay, come
that's
on.
yeah, that same little store. We had to wait for our bus. I was on that last shuttle, uh, and my bus was late. My shuttle bus was late to get to the bus stop.
What
So
was
the
it
bus,
like? What was it like when you're sitting there waiting on the bus? Other people are getting on,
yeah,
you're waiting on yours. What are you going through?
uh, man, my hands were shaking. I had this energy like I've never really had before, and it was funny because I hadn't slept a couple days leading up to my release. Even though I was tired, I wanted to sleep there when I was locked up, and I couldn't because I knew that I was going to get out. So that day, when I actually walked out the gates and got to the bus stop, I was kind of like in a sensory overload. I'm looking around, and just the sights and the smells, and seeing people walking around, seeing people doing business right there in Huntsville. I was in shock. I was in shock because I hadn't seen it for a while.
How long had you been locked up?
Um, I thought about all the things that I wanted to do, about how excited I was to be able to have the opportunity to call my people and let them know that I was out,
How long had you been locked up?
instead of me worrying about where my next meal was going to come from or where I was going to stay. I was just sitting there praying over and over, giving thanks for that day finally to be there. For that day that I was going to be free, and having that a sense of gratitude that I never really had. I know that I know that God was right there with me, kind of guiding my steps, as lost as I was in those first few minutes. Ideas started to pop in my head as soon as as soon as I heard that bus hit the air brakes and stop. I I knew that the trajectory of my life was going to be different. I had somebody offer me a free cell phone, or not a free cell phone. It it was a cell phone that they had. They tried to offer to sell it to me for $105, and then right after that, somebody offered me dope, and there wasn't really a thought in my mind about picking up again. Before, I might have considered it, even as stupid as that sounds, with those $50 that I had in my pocket. I might have thought about it. but I couldn't believe how fast it was from the time that I got out to waiting on those buses in a few minutes that somebody had already came up to me, offering me dope, asking me if I needed anything. And I knew that, that was one of my first of many, probably, first of many tests that I was going to have. And I thought it was kind of funny how quick those obstacles would throw themselves in front of me because I hadn't even been out for an hour. And somebody was already asking me if I needed something. And I
Bro,
kind of sit back and I laughed. I was like, really?
bro.
For real?
Boone, I know you feeling it so much. I'm steady trying to interrupt you so you can let the people know how much time you've been
Nobody's ever
doing, but you caught up in the story. How much time did you do?
on this time it was only 2 years. I ended up doing a two.
Okay. So the reason
Uh
I say that, I'm talking about, bro, you had me there. On the bus stop, you hadn't been out an hour and they already offering you stuff. And I didn't want to interrupt, but I want people to understand you've only been gone 2 years, but it's still the lights. It's like the movies where they say lights, camera, action, because you're living a new life. And it's not that, come on.
you know and I'm not trying to, I probably make myself look bad, but I've been in trouble before and I've been out before. And the first, the release process is the same every time. Huntsville, that's one thing about Texas and Huntsville, they're not going to change anything. If they do, it's going to take an act of Congress. But I've been out before, and there's that sense, there's that happiness, that giddiness, just that that need or that urge to experience the world all at once again because of the things that you've been denied, I guess, or the things that you haven't had access to. And instead of thinking about the first bit of trouble I'm going to get in or what I'm going to go do immediately because of the fact that I've been locked up and I haven't had a chance to do, uh, I wasn't really thinking about a lot of that. I was thinking about the people I couldn't be with, over the years, or the people that I've been away from, and how my life was going to be different this time. I wasn't thinking about, girls. I wasn't thinking about how I was going to come up on a quick hustle to get back on
I'm proud.
because
I'm
I
proud of
wasn't.
you, Boone. So let's go to you reach Austin. Tell me a little bit about that, and then pick up from where we met and let's roll.
Uh, I got to the bus stop in Austin. The first place I wanted to go to was downtown because at the time I didn't really have a cell phone and I didn't have enough money. I didn't think I had enough money to go out and go buy one. I was looking around at the prices of everything, and things have changed significantly. Even in the past couple of years, $50 wasn't $50. And on that bus ride, I had got a bag of chips and a soda, and that was like $9. I got the big. Can't get the little bag. You got to get the big bag. You've been gone for a while,
I'm with you,
so yeah,
man.
got that family bag of chips and a soda, and that was like $9. So then I was thinking, I was like, well, if that's $9, and I've got 41 in my pocket, how far am I going to get? And then the closer we got to Austin, the prices shot up even more. And so I realized kind of like how weak I was financially. And when I pulled up to Austin, things were live. It was already later at night. The city was booming. Underground sales were booming. The Capitol, I guess, Plaza right there, the Central Bus Exchange, apparently doesn't sleep ever. And they're wheeling and dealing 24/7. Business was booming. So that was another test, just like getting off the bus. And once again, you know, there's offers right and left. They see you just getting on the bus fresh with your little bag. You're recognized from a mile away. You're wearing a Hawaiian shirt from 1985 and some TDC shoes. It doesn't take long for people to realize, hey man, you just got out. They see you with that mesh bag with your little folder in it. So once again, those offers start rolling in. Nobody's asking me if I need work. Nobody's asking me where I'm going to sleep. They're asking me if I want to go to their camp. If I'm tired, or you know, if I need a quick pick me up so I can figure out what my next move is going to be. That was another test. But I knew that if I went downtown, I could probably find some leads on where to stay because of the fact that when I was on that tablet and looking up reentry resources, a lot of those churches and those entities were downtown. So that's kind of why I went. So the same spoon that can feed you, you know, there's a flip side of that because that's where all the temptations are at downtown. So I think that's probably why we have so many problems getting out. Where we have to go to get those resources that we need, those vital resources, the clothes, you know, the laundry service, the food. Unfortunately, is in the same location that all those curveballs are going to be thrown from. Wherever you got to go to get what you need to live, unfortunately, are saturated with people that want to drag you down too. And it's not everybody. There's good people out there, but it's a 50-50, maybe even a 70-30 versus people that'll give you a helping hand, you know, to those that want to pull you back into the gutter. So it's more than understandable why the recidivism rate is so high. Like I can't judge anybody for falling back into their old ways because I mean it's the way that the system is set up, it's so easy. The only thing that I think the only thing that I think really protected me against sliding back fully is where my heart was at. Because on my own, uh, on my own, I think that you know my basic, you know, the basic intelligence that I have and the knowledge that I have in my past wouldn't have been enough to really prevent me from getting back in trouble again. Because I've been in trouble over and over. It was really where my heart was at, and just maintaining myself. You know, these past these past couple of months, few months,
I'm proud of
maintaining
you.
maintaining myself in constant prayer. And I haven't been perfect in everything. You know, there's been some occasions where I've been judgmental, but it's like now I can think back on those instances or those times, and I have that sense of conviction there that I know I shouldn't be judging people. You better not, because look at where I come from. You know, how dare I? And it's not my place. It's his place. It's God's place to judge. You know, who am I to judge another man's servant?
So I know that you're going to be successful, and we're definitely going to have a part two. But can you take me to the day that you and I met as we wrap this up?
Oh man.
Oh, he went to smiling man.
Yeah, that was a good day. That was a good day. Not just because of the fact that we met up, but because of the fact that I had Miss Mary Moran from Reentry Services. She's a sweetheart. She went as far as to make sure that day when I showed up, you know, she knew my situation and how rough things were because it had been an up and down. I had got my cell phone stolen. I got my stuff stolen when I was out there on the streets trying to figure out where I was going to live. She went as far as to invite me her office, and when I got there, made sure I had a cold bottle of water in my hand. No, it wasn't a bottle of water, it was a Coke. Made sure I had a cold Coke in my hand before we even started. Before she even got to talking, she sat down, she was digging through her bag. She's got like a war room in there. She pulled out three t-shirts. She heard I got my stuff stolen. She pulled out three t-shirts that fit me, brand new, set those down. Looked for a pen and a paper because she knew that I was gonna have to write down some phone numbers. And she asked me if I was hungry. And I said yes, so she made sure I had lunch. And then I ate me a little lunch before we started. And she told me that over the years that she had helped out a lot of people. And it was she wanted to see me succeed, and she wanted me to make sure that I stayed in touch with her throughout the process, and that she was gonna give me work resources. She was gonna find me some food resources, and she was gonna try to connect me with the powers that be that would help lead me, uh, I guess, from the gutter to glory, back to glory. And at first I thought, I didn't know if her heart was in it, but when I saw her offer me that food and be that considerate to give me some time to eat before she went into her I guess not spiel, but like her work mode, I knew that she was genuine. And so we sat down, and she had asked me, well, first things first, since I got my things stolen, what did I need? And I had told her clothes, and she pulled out like a gift card, like a $25 gift card, so I could go to Walmart and go get a couple of things. And she had told me, she's like, I'm sorry, it's not more, but if anything, you can get, you can get some socks or some underwear or whatever to kind of help get back on. And she started writing stuff down, uh, building promise that I needed to connect with them downstairs about schooling, education once I was a little bit more stable, that they would help me the rest of the way. She gave me the contact name and number, put it on that paper, and she started going down through a bullet list based on my needs as to who I was going to call. And she was really like informative, comprehensive about telling me, well, even if these people don't have, she's like, say you need electronics for work, even if they don't have it right then and there, by you calling this number, they will guide you on where to go get it. All you have to do is call. And then she went further as to give me the name and emails of my contacts at those agencies. She asked me how I was doing health wise and led me by the hand downstairs to the clinic. There's a clinic right there for me to get set up with them, make sure that my health was good. And she asked me about, what led me up to my conviction, what my situation was, while she's writing this stuff down. And I told her, and then after I got the list of resources, and she had taken me down through the little complex and showed me, started pointing at doors where to go. She had asked me about, my drug history and my usage, and what that bought me. And as it turns out, this little old sweet lady, she's been down through there. She knows about addiction. She's got those same problems in her family. So that kind of hit close to home. And she told me how she had gone through it. And I don't really know her, not that well. Not for her to come and tell me in a professional setting, that basically air out her dirty laundry with me. And so I kind of felt an instant connection with her, because for her to be that humble and that, I guess, that revealing without anything in return, it just kind of solidified. It kind of solidified my thoughts and ideas towards her and how cool she was. And she told me, she made sure to tell me it can be done. It can be done, and it has been done. And I've helped people do it. She goes, and I can help. She goes, and I can help you if you want. And I told her, yeah, I damn near teared up because at the time I didn't have my grandma on my team. My, I didn't really have much family, and it just kind of reminded me of having that family that I've been missing for a while. And she told me she gave me her cell phone number. She said, "This is my cell phone. You can call me anytime." She goes, "And try not to call me late at night, please. But if you need to, here's my number." And so, yeah, I've been checking back in with her periodically, and every time I do, man, she's excited. It doesn't matter what I got going on. If I got some clothes, from you that day, if I tell her, let her know that, she's happy to hear that, the dots are connecting in my life. So yeah, she's my guy. She's my
Okay. Okay. Boone, we got about 10 minutes or less. Is there anything that you want to share that's happened to you or anything that you want to
but
share with the individuals watching this?
when I met you, what were we doing that day? Loading up boxes in the back of the truck. It was raining. Man, I seen your face and I knew you instantly when we was at the door. I was like, man, that's Oliver. I was like, what? That's crazy. And the fact that you guys were so receptive, and y'all prayed over me that day. It let me know that things are real. There's real people out there. When I told you I needed work, and you were like, all right, man, bam, I bet. Numbers exchanged. Things were connecting right there. I uh I knew that we would be moving forward in the things that I needed. I had that sense of certainty that I knew that somehow, some way, you and I would be collaborating, and that things would be a success. I didn't know how, I didn't know when, but I was sure as hell glad to have you on my team because I knew that what you guys are doing out here in the community and in Austin was real, and that I was fortunate enough to be able to come in contact with y'all. I
Praise
was
God. You
yeah.
started your job this week, didn't you?
I was actually doing my onboarding yesterday. I had a double shift. I've been double shifting with the labor thing and with the taco thing. I had to double shift last night, so I didn't get a chance to finish my onboarding. I started. It's a process. They've got um, it's a few things you got to do. So I went through my Paycom, and as it happens, my Paycom was set up with the company that I started working for recently. And so when I tried to go in and fill my packet back out or finish my packets, we got multiple packets that I had to do. After I did my tax information and stuff, I tried to sign back in after work, and it wouldn't let me finish. So as soon as I couldn't get back on, it was saying that I had a login error, that my email was assigned to multiple accounts. It wouldn't let me get back into the Urban account, the Urban Alchemy. So I reached back out to their HR, emailed them immediately, so that way I can be sure that my onboarding is done by Monday because that's the job that I'd really like to do. Uh, to be honest, slinging tacos and working in community outreach, anything with the community would be a blessing.
Hey, I've already told you, it's just the first step.
Yeah,
So we will bring you back, but I had to get you on right now to let the people know what to get ready for. In closing, 1 minute or less, anything else you want to say?
man. All I want to say is there's for anybody that's watching because I've never done an interview, so I wasn't really ready for any of these questions. It kind of caught me off guard. There's people out there that will help you. There are places out there that you can go and get what you need. First things first, seek the kingdom of heaven. Keep your heart right. Stay prayed up. And I know for certain that everything else will come. It's not going to come as fast as you want. It's not going to be when you want. but God will put the right people in your life. The prayers will be answered. It might not be in an audible sense where you can just hear and see the answer right then, but if you pay attention and you're conscious enough, knowing that these are all truths, the answers, the answers and the solutions will present themselves. Just make sure your heart's in the right spot. It's not about what you know. It's about what's in your heart. Because people will see that, and eventually those dots will connect for you.
Cool. So we will get back in touch, of course, this week, Boone. All right.
Man, thank you, Sean. God bless you for what you're doing. I'm glad I got you in my phone book.
Amen.